All right, so we'll talk about being at peace with so-called writer's block. I did a video in the past about writer's block and how to tackle it, right? How to take it on and be done with it. Um, but I think there is a misconception about writer's block, right? This idea that you're sitting down to write, whether you're an author or a lyricist, and you simply just cannot come up with anything. And it's, to me, it is a lot deeper than that. And it really does come down to the inability to find inspiration. At the end of the day, that's all it is your inability to find motivation. And so I'm currently dealing with that. Another part of it is related to expectations. So, for example, as a musician, if you really pour your heart out into something and you have these expectations that it's going to be incredible, the response is going to be incredible, and it kind of just falls flat, it's really difficult to then find the motivation to go through that whole process again. You know, it's kind of demoralizing, it's discouraging. And so what that then tells me is that to find peace with this, right, to find peace with the slumps, to find peace with the lack of motivation, the quote-unquote writer's block, you really need to separate the creative process from your expectations. The creative process from the response of listeners, right? The creative process from the void that you send your music into, or the void you send your books into, your articles, whatever, your artwork. And I think that's easier, depending on the medium, to do. In the realm of music, man, very difficult. There's also the issue of setting high standards on writing. I was just reading an article about Billy Joel talking about how he hasn't written in several years now. He hasn't written new songs. I mean, he's still making music or he's still performing, but in terms of writing new songs, he got to a point where his standards got so high that it was too frustrating to even attempt it. Standards got so high, he got so good at what he did, it just became very difficult. So that's a issue I struggle with myself. That I've written the bad songs. I've written the lyrics that are piss poor or mediocre, and so once you hit a high point in that area, it becomes very difficult to accept anything less. And so part of what I'm trying to do now is find a way where I'd be satisfied with like instrumental projects. There's a fine line between like, this is a good beat and this is a great instrumental that's worthy to put out there, right? So that's kind of what I'm struggling with, but I think it's just a matter of transitioning into that, at least for a period of time, whether it's 2 months, 6 months, a year. And I think I'd be comfortable with maybe just doing an instrumental project. And hopefully in that process, I would be like renewed and reinvigorated to try my hand at like a full-length written project again. But not to say I'm leaving that behind in any way, but it's been a little bit. I definitely have, I could look back on my notebook and I can see a written song or part of a written song, and then I know there's a song or two that I've yet to record, so I think that'll help too. But another thing I think is that help you be at peace with this is give yourself more credit than you probably do. And I don't mean more credit than you deserve, but take a look back and see, okay, last 12 months, what have I written? And take a look at that. In the last 12 months, what have you recorded? And listen to that. And count it. As simple as that. Count it up and be like, okay. You know, if I did that, I could look back at a year from today. A year from today. Wow. 2023. I mean, I know somewhere in the neighborhood of like 17 written songs, 18 written songs, probably close to 20 at this point. Because that was as of a few months ago. I think I had counted it up like that. So, you know, you got to look at it in a wider span of time. It's too easy to look at this from the standpoint of what have you done in the past month, or what have you done in the past 2 months, and then compare it to, you know, a high point you had half a year ago, or 2 years ago, whatever it was, right? You've got to look at it at a more macro level, right? I zoom out, and I think you'll find more peace with it. And then find peace with the just reality that, like, this is part of the process. My hand is freezing. It's finally winter here. Yeah, it's just part of the process. There's no getting around that. I think it's completely unnatural. You're almost like unhuman if you're gonna just 100% of the time hit every note, 100% of the time write every song, and be happy with everything and be happy with your process. But I think it's just the more you do it and the more you experience, more you get out of that room, or wherever you get put down your creative process, get out of that space for some time. Get out of that routine, shake things up, spend time with your family, spend time with your friends, and you're going to see a difference. Yeah, so to me, that's how you find peace. That's how you to overcome so-called writer's block. You have to be at peace with the concept of creative blocks, and the concept and the endeavor, right? The challenge of opening that door again, and you'll feel it. Whatever the medium, whether it's a paintbrush or a pen on a notepad, you will have that feeling again, and hopefully it will spark some renewal, and you'll go through a period where you're hitting all the notes again. So let me know what your experience is, because my hand is freezing. I got to put this phone down, put some gloves on. It's beautiful out here, but my hand is freezing. And then hopefully when I get back to my place, I'm going to write something today. I can feel it.